Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. If you've not been here before, I'm Lenny and I have 5 Dachshunds, 4 long hair and 1 smooth. Yes, my intro has changed. If you want to know why it's changed, then please do go and watch my last live. Oh, bye. Yeah, my intro has changed. Please do go and watch my last live video to find out why that's changed. I'm not going to talk about it 100 times, so just go watch it there. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about bringing your Dachshund puppy or rescue dog or dog that you haven't previously owned home. Talking about what you need to pick up before you get them and also your first day with them and your first night with them. This video has been highly requested in the comments of pretty much every video I've ever done, so hopefully you enjoy it and hopefully I managed to structure it in a way that's useful for you. So firstly, let's talk about a few things that you can pick up before you pick up your new Dachshund. People have a tendency to go a bit overboard with this. Feel free to do that, but I'm just going to talk about the essentials to pick up. And these essentials vary depending on the person, but these are just the things that I would pick up if I was going to get a new Dachshund puppy or Dachshund at this time, pretending that I don't already own all of these things. So first thing is a crate. So a crate creates a safe space. It's also good for them to get used to them for their future, so that if they ever needed to rest because of injury or anything, it's just useful to always have a crate available, even if you don't intend to crate train. So a crate. You need a dog bed, but you don't need to get a really expensive dog bed. High chances are they're going to wreck it in some way. So even if they're an adult Dachshund, when they're relearning toilet training in your house, they might go to the toilet on it and things. So you can either get a really cheap dog bed from Amazon or somewhere on the internet, or if you're really trying to budget, then you can just get a cushion, so like what we would use, and put a waterproof cushion cover on it. You could also use an old duvet and work with that. There's various ways that you can do it on a bit of a budget if you're expecting them to wreck it anyway, which high chances they are going to wreck it. You're going to need to get some of the foods that your breeder or the previous owner have fed the dog. So you're not going to want to change the food for the first couple of weeks. Well, I usually don't change it for a few months, just purely because they've got a lot to be learning and changing their food can create a bit of an upset stomach and you don't want to do that in the early days. So find out from the breeder or the previous owner what food they are having and just go and pick up some of that. Some of the breeders or previous owners might give you some food to get started, so that's great, but it is good to try and stock up beforehand. You're also going to want to pick up some training treats. So I like to go down the natural route and get natural based treats. So you can go to any pet shop, just have a look what's in them, read the ingredients, try and find something that hasn't got too much you don't know how to read on the back of the ingredients packet. If you can read it, it's probably healthy. So go and grab some training treats. Try and grab a bit of a mixture of training treats, because what you're going to want to do when you get to training them, which obviously you're not going to be doing on day one, but when you get to that point, you're going to need to change up the treats quite a lot to try and keep them involved in the training. So definitely go and grab a couple of different types of treats. You're going to want to get a water and a food bowl. I have actually found quite a lot of my dogs don't like the metal food bowls. I think they don't like the reflection in them. So I would say to avoid any possible issues of them turning down one of those bowls, just go and get a plastic or ceramic one. Plastic is good, but I do tend to go for ceramic. It's heavier, so it doesn't slide across the floor when they're trying to eat or drink, and they can't chew on it. So ceramic is your best bet in terms of a food bowl or water bowl. You might want to pick up a ramp. You don't need this from day one, because chances are you're not going to want to encourage a little puppy to go up the ramp in case they make a bad decision and jump off of it anyway. But that's completely up to you. If you're happy to get a ramp from day one, then definitely do investigate and get one. We do have them from day one, and we just keep a really, really close eye on the puppies or new dogs to make sure they don't jump down once they've got themselves up. But yeah, so have a consideration about getting a ramp from day one to get them used to it, but you will need to keep a close eye on them while you've got that ramp available. You're going to want a way to transport them in the car. So we use a crate in the van. So again, the same as what we have in the house, just a normal crate, but we've strapped it down. But some people do like to not have them enclosed in the car. So you might want to buy something like a booster seat so that they can see out the window. Booster seats usually have a strap in them that you can clip onto a harness so that they are fully secure. And the ones that you're going to want to investigate usually are these Solvit booster seats. They seem to be the most recommended, seem to be the best in terms of sturdiness, and I believe they are crash tested as well. So a Solvit booster seat or a crate, any way to make sure that they're, any way to make sure that they are definitely safely restrained within the vehicle so that they're not interrupting you, and if anything were to happen, they're safe in the vehicle. So we went for a crate just purely because then we can, if we did need to pull over or anything, we can just pull the crate out. But yeah, a booster seat is also useful, or just a seatbelt, whatever they're happy with. If you are getting a brand new puppy that's not allowed to go on walks yet, you might want to consider getting a carry bag so that you can still take them out into the world and socialise them a bit. So get them used to bird sounds, car sounds, bus sounds, etc. without putting them on the floor before their vaccinations. So yeah, you might want to consider getting a little carry bag for them. There's various ones on the internet, just have a little Google of it. Honestly, there's hundreds, so just find one that has a pattern that you're happy with and go and buy that one. I think ours is from Me and My Pets. It's really good, it was a good price, so go and have a look at those. I'll link some things below that I'm talking about, what we have, like the version that we have of anything I bring up. You are going to want to have some toys for your new puppy or dog, but do keep in mind that they tend to wreck the initial toys. So if they're teething and things like that, so make sure that the toys are safe, but also make sure that they're not stupidly expensive toys, because they're probably going to get broken anyway. I really like, and I'll pop a link below again for this, on Amazon there's these sort of rustly toys that are really long, so you're not going to get bitten while they're teething because you can play miles away. Go and watch my puppy biting video for more on those, because I've actually got them in that video, I think. So yeah, a couple of toys, definitely great to have to play around with them and things, but try and get them as long toys and stuff that doesn't have too much stuffing, because they're just going to pull it out anyway. And really, that's everything you need from the get-go. You could potentially get a collar, harness and lead, but you're not going to need it straight away, and you might want to measure them up just to check you're not wasting money on the wrong size anyway. So Amazon, places like that, they deliver next day. So get your puppy back and then measure them up and then order something from one of those websites, and then you can start taking them in the garden to get them conditioned to wearing a harness and a collar. But you're not going to need that from day one, so don't rush into buying loads of collars and harnesses and things, because chances are they might not fit. Every Dachshund is very, very different in size and shape, so it's definitely worth waiting, measuring them and then buying them. But other than that, that's pretty much everything that you're going to need from day one. Obviously, this is a bit of an obvious one, but make sure that your garden is fully secure, because you're going to be using that a lot before their vaccinations. If you don't have a garden, then fair enough, but if you do have a garden, just make sure it's fully secure before you bring home your puppy or your new Dachshund. There's loads of things to consider about bringing home an adult Dachshund, which I'm probably not going to go into in this video, but if you are rehoming and want a few more tips on that, then let me know, because what I'm going to talk about now is just sort of vaguely across both, but there are things that you need to know about bringing home a slightly older Dachshund that's more specific, but this is sort of vague in some ways. So I've talked about the things that you're going to need before you bring them home. Now I'm going to talk about, so you're bringing them home and what your first day is going to look like and your first evening. So chances are you're driving maybe locally, you might even be going long distance to pick up your puppy, and you'll be bringing them back either in the morning, afternoon, whatever. It is, if possible, it is great to have a full day with them before the night, but fair enough if you have had to travel far and you've come back late. Actually, I should just quickly say, I'm talking about bringing home a solo dog, so I'm not talking about when you already own dogs. If you want a video on bringing back a puppy or another dog when you already own dogs, let me know, because this is more specific to just bringing home a solo dog or your first dog. So when you first bring them home, make sure you've got food and water available, so that if they've just been travelling, they might have picked up a bit of an appetite, they might be a bit thirsty. So make sure that's available and show them where that is. So once you've brought them home, you're basically then going to just want them to start making their own decisions. You're going to want to provide them with space if they want space, and if they want to follow you around, let them follow you around. On those first couple of days, don't try teaching them separation anxiety stuff, you know, leaving the room and things like that. Don't bother with anything like that. Don't start trying to crate train them from day one, shove them in the crate and close the door. That doesn't work either. Don't try doing too much with them on the first few days. They are going to be having to take in a whole entire new world. So you're just going to let them follow you around. If they don't want to follow you around and they just want to sleep, just let them sleep. If they want a bit of food, let them have the food. Don't limit their intake of food. Don't limit their intake of water. Let them investigate the garden. Let them investigate the house. Thanks, Eva, that's my reflection. So just let them get on with what they're getting on with. And so there's not really much to talk about on the first day. Chances are they're going to be clung to you. That's fine. If they're a bit whingy for you to carry them everywhere, honestly, that's fine. Those first couple of days are really just about bonding with them and letting them know that you're there. So you don't need to start working on like weaning them away from you or anything like that. When you get to the point where you are going to want to start working on that, so a few days in, I have got videos on that, so go and watch them. But for those first couple of days, they're allowed to follow you around, they're allowed to whine for you to pick them up, they're allowed to eat, drink, etc. So just let them make their decisions for the first couple of days. And that's the same for an older dog and a puppy across the board. If your puppy hasn't been vaccinated, they are allowed in the garden. So there's a lot of confusion over this. They can go in your garden if they haven't been vaccinated. So you can absolutely start with house training from the day one. So if you see that they're sniffing around on the floor looking for something to do, they might need the toilet, you can take them outside to go to the toilet. Unless, of course, you live in a flat where you've then got a communal garden, then you might want to just set up an area on your balcony or whatever. But if you live in a house in the UK and you've got a secure garden, they can absolutely go in the garden to go to the toilet from day one. So you might find on day one, as I've already said, they'll be following you around everywhere and sleeping. That's pretty much going to be the most of their day. They might want to play, and if they want to play, then definitely encourage it. It's very bonding, fantastic to do with them, but also encourage them to settle and sleep. So just provide them with times where they can just go and have a snooze. You don't need to force them into it or anything, but just make sure they know where their bed is and things like that. So you can obviously pop them in their bed. They might just run straight back out again, but as long as they're getting used to their surroundings, learning where their food, their drink, their bed, their safe space is, then just try and encourage that learning over that first couple of days. But you might find that they just want to sleep for the first couple of days and then they turn into an absolute terror on like day 3. But if they want to sleep, let them sleep, honestly. Don't try and force them into too many situations. Don't have loads of visitors on the first day because you're excited about your puppy. Don't go to trips to pets at home or anything like that. Just take them home, let them settle, let them make their decisions for the first couple of days. So you've got through the day and now you're going into nighttime. So you might be wanting to crate train for nighttime. So I've got a video on that, so go and watch it. You might be wanting to have them in your bed. So I'm going to talk about that just briefly. A lot of people are confused as to whether it's safe to have them in your bed from day one. I absolutely think it's great to have them in your bed from day one. They'll sleep better in your bed, but also you can bond with them from that day one. You're not creating anxiety about them leaving you or anything for that first day. And additionally, when they wake up, when they're in your bed, you instantly feel it and it wakes you up. And that means that you can take them out to the toilet. So it means it's really good for toilet training. And it's perfectly safe. They're not going to fall out of the bed. And if they do fall out of the bed, they're very robust, that they're going to be fine. So they are safe to be in your bed, in my opinion, from day one. But it's up to you. Totally personal preference. You might want to try and have them in their bed in your bedroom. Again, that's absolutely fine. You just have to keep popping them back in their bed. It's very difficult to confine a puppy into their bed in your bedroom on night one, but you can give it a go. So yeah, you've got all those different choices. Hopefully during the day, if you are intending to crate train, you've already watched my crate training video. You've had the crate available from day one. It's been open, it's been accessible during the day, so they're already used to it. So then when it comes to nighttime, they're not panicking about the fact that they're now being put in a crate to go to sleep. So hopefully you've already done that. If you haven't and you haven't picked up your new dog yet, please go and watch my crate training video so that you can get it right from day one. Also watch my toilet training video, also watch my separation anxiety video, because if you get everything right from early days, it's easy, she says. So yeah, you get into the nighttime. Chances are on your first evening, you are going to be waking up every sort of 3 hours. It might even be more than that. Again, don't let them, in my opinion, don't let them cry too much. Don't let them get too stressed on those first couple of days, because you really want to bond with them and you really want to show them that you listen to their needs. Because then you can start training as to what you expect from them and what you want. Once you're more bonded with them, once they feel safe in their surroundings, once they're not as anxious about their surroundings and things like that. So those first few days, you know, expect to have a few sleepless nights, expect to be staring at a puppy for 24 hours, you know, feeling a bit anxious about watching them, making sure things don't happen that could harm them in any way. So that's pretty much it in terms of what your first day will look like with your new puppy. Hopefully that has been helpful. So just to recap, I've talked about a few items that you might want to pick up before you grab your new puppy or new Dachshund. I've talked about the first day and things that you need to do, and I've talked about your first evening, just very briefly. I just want to finish off this video by saying, if you do want me to talk about bringing home a puppy to a household that already has dogs in, then please let me know in the comments below and I will do a video. Nemo clearly wants some attention now, so I'm just going to give him it while I'm talking to you. And again, I don't want to make this channel about advertising or anything, but if you didn't see our live, we have launched our own clothing company, which is super exciting, and it's called Nemo and Crew. So if you go to www.nemoandcrew.com, we've got some little designs that I drew. So it's quite exciting. So please do go and check it out. I've actually got one of their jumpers on now. So this is the winter Dachshund collection, and it's basically just a cute little Dachshund ice skating. And it's a little sweater, and this is in the organic range, which is vegan, organic, and all of our shipping is plastic free. So trying to do what we can, obviously on a budget. And this is in the sort of purple colour. I think it's called Mauve. How do you pronounce that? M-A-U-V-E. Anyway, it's a cute colour. So yeah, please do go and check that out. I'm not sure when this video is coming out, but it might mean that our Christmas range, God, I can't say Christmas, our Christmas range is already out, which would be amazing if it is. And this is the mug from our Christmas range. You probably can't see it very well, but I'm going to drink a bit of my tea. So yeah, it's quite exciting. So please do go and check that out. That's nemoandcrew.com. And as always, it is Dachshund, not Dachshund, not Dachshund, Dachshund. Thanks for watching, guys. Can you stop asking for attention now? Do you want to go and say hello? Say hello. Oh, thank you. Thanks for watching.